The government of Arvind Kejriwal today revealed details of its ambitious odd-even plan that's aimed at curbing pollution levels in the national capital. The plan, to be implemented from the 1st of January for 15 days, has several exemptions now. VIPs, single women drivers, also two-wheelers are exempted from the plan. Violators will be punished though with a challan of ₹2,000. Take a look.
As Delhi struggled to deal with the smog menace, Wednesday turned out to be the most polluted day of 2015. Delhi government laid out the details of the odd-even policy to be implemented with effect from January 1st, 2016. The President, Prime Minister, Ministers of the Central Government, top officials and Chief Ministers of all states, except Delhi, are exempted from the plan. Also exempted are CNG vehicles and two-wheelers. Violators will be fined ₹2,000.
4 से 5,000 एक्स्ट्रा नई बसेस, नई इन द सेंस और एडिशनल बसेस स्कूल्स की और चार्टर्ड बसेस उतारी जा रही हैं। कारपूल ऐप अगले 2-3 दिन के अंदर, जिसमें आप अपने दोस्तों को एक ग्रुप बना सकते हैं।
जो ऑड इवन पॉलिसी के खिलाफ चलेगा उसे ₹2,000 का चालान किया जाएगा। काफ़ी सारी एग्जेम्प्टेड कैटेगरी भी है और दिल्ली की जनता भी इसमें सहयोग करेगी, तो हमारा काम इतना मुश्किल भी नहीं है।
Single women drivers will be allowed. They can be accompanied either by other women or children, but not by men. So you actually can't be treating your wives or girlfriends as your chauffeurs. That's not what the government is allowing, and that's not the idea behind the plan. But this is to ensure safety of women drivers on the capital's roads.
Residents of the national capital gave a thumbs up to the policy, even as they acknowledged the loopholes.
They have declared the holidays for the government schools for the 15 days. So, but thing cannot be tested because schools will reopen after 15 days. Exactly. So, actual condition, actual result can be analyzed only when it is tested in the most severe conditions.
For some routes, there are not enough number of buses, so the people need to change public transport quite a lot of times. So, they prefer their own vehicle. That's why I find that this method is not a foolproof plan, but some measures are good, but you need to take some more measures about this.
Opposition parties, though, did not seem to be too convinced with the plan.
You have 12 lanes functioning, one going this way and the other one coming this way. How are you going to check each one of them? Whether it can be implemented or not, that is the big question, and that is what is concerning everybody.
दिल्ली के लिए सामूहिक प्रयास कुछ ऐसा होना चाहिए जो सबके साथ चिंतन मनन बैठक करके कि इसके लिए क्या किया जाए, वैसे कदम उठाकर अगर हम कर लेंगे तो बहुत जल्दी परिणाम आएगा।
There is no doubt that odd-even policy is an ambitious steps. While the critics say this policy will not bring about much change in the capital's pollution levels, Delhi government says this is a temporary policy and corrective measures will be taken 15 days after its implementation. With camera person Ashwini Hillen and Ankit Tyagi, Atir Khan in Delhi for India Today.
Is the Arvind Kejriwal scheme really workable now that the full blueprint has been put out, or will the exemptions and the manner in which this scheme is being sought to be implemented make it unworkable? Raghav Chadha, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, is joining even as I take your call-ins on this. Raghav Chadha, the first point that I want to make is the exemptions you put in. Motorcycles and scooters, which are about 58 lakhs, account for 64.36% of the vehicular traffic and about over 30% of the pollution when it comes to vehicular pollution, exempted. Private commercial vehicles, many of them trucks, exempted. The fact people will ask is the exemptions are going to defeat your grand plan of actually bringing down pollution levels.
Well, there are, Mr. Sabdesai, let me put this in perspective. There are about 15 different types of vehicles that have been exempted. Let me divide these 15 into 3 categories. One, the first category is the lifeline vehicles, in which there will be ambulances, fire brigades, enforcement vehicles, etc., which are exempted. The second category is the one in which CNG vehicles, women drivers, handicap passenger driven vehicles, etc., are exempted. And the third one is the dignitaries like the Prime Minister as well as the President, Vice President, etc. have been exempted.
Right.
Now, as far as your question regarding two-wheeler goes, we as the Chief Minister also pointed out in his press address, that we are at this point also testing the capacity vis-a-vis the public transport as well as the enforcement of the odd even policy. Once we see that the public transport as well as the enforcement capacity utilization is meeting with the odd even goals that we have laid down, we will enlarge, we will increase the scope of the odd even policy. At this point, it is only a 15-day.
So it has nothing to do with the fact that those who travel by scooters, you hope, are Aam Aadmi Party voters, and those who travel by cars are probably not. It's not about vote bank politics, because you've also gone and actually given an exemption to, many believe, as many as 70,000 diesel cabs, which are equal to 45 to 54 lakh private petrol cars. Now they've got exemptions. You've given exemptions to scooters. You have.
We haven't.
The cabs have exemptions. A taxi has exemptions.
No, please, no. Cabs, taxis do not have exemptions, particularly the ones that are running on diesel. This is only, as I said, for lifeline vehicles, for women drivers, CNG run vehicles, two-wheelers, and the third category is dignitaries. So diesel vehicles, cabs are not exempted. They will have to follow the odd even policy.
Okay, let me bring in an expert in my studio, Shailesh Sinha. You're a traffic expert. You're listening to what Raghav Chadha is saying.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the exemptions are of a kind that they could actually defeat the goal that Arvind Kejriwal and the Delhi government have set?
See, the whole system would be, this whole policy would be defeated, is what I see. Because the way it has been, put forth across the Janta, the public, it's very, very defeating for them, because they have voted for good cause. And what has happened to them is not very, very healthy for in terms of...
Why do you think this policy will not? Let's go to specifics.
Okay.
Give me a specific reason why you believe what Raghav Chadha is saying is unworkable.
See, one point is this, that Delhi is one city where certain things are, done with arrogance, right? And the system cannot be implemented on people just the way it has been done. You are not seeing the physical part, which is public transport, metro service. Certain things are not in place. Metro is not working in a proper way that it can afford and it can, sustain with the amount of public.
Arvind Kejriwal says number of metro rides will be increased. He's saying he will 4,000 to 5,000 buses will be added to the roads.
Ask Mr. Kejriwal that has he traveled in metro during peak hours? Every 2 minutes there's metro, and it's so jam-packed. I travel in metro just because I'm an Aam Aadmi.
No, so do I. I travel a couple of times a week, and I can second what Shailesh Sinha is saying.
I have figures completely, sir, that one metro train production takes about 1.5 years. And the metro is running to full of its capacity, and the amount of traffic which it would be having in some point in time, maybe 1st January onwards, would be so defeating for metro people. They can't even maintain it. There'll be highly good number of breakdowns.
I get your point. Raghav, there are two concerns. One is the exemptions, which you've responded to. The other is what Shailesh Sinha is saying, the state of public transport. Metro is already running to full capacity. The Chief Minister says he's going to add 4,000 to 5,000 buses. Our reporters are saying many of these bus drivers, school bus drivers, are not even willing to lend their buses to the scheme. Are you not worried that the public transport system may actually collapse if this scheme, because of this scheme?
So 2 points. One is that about 10% of the population in Delhi owns cars, out of which if 5% continues to use car on a particular day and 5% has to forego the the use of their private cars and move to public transport, I don't think as a citizen of Delhi that would massively impact the public transport system of Delhi. That's one. Point number two, as far as the larger question of public transport system in Delhi is concerned, I accept that there is need for improvisation. The government is working on short term, medium term and long term measures. As far as these 15 days are concerned, we have said that there would be about 5,000 more buses on the roads. We will increase the frequencies of metro. 10,000 new auto permits have been given.
From?
We have developed two apps,
where are these 5,000 buses
as well as
coming
carpooling apps.
Where are these 5,000 buses coming from?
So some of them... Yes. So Mr. Sardesai, some of them are new buses and some of them are the buses that were previously deployed for carrying school children from one point to another. Since the schools will not be functioning in these 15 days, we will be pulling buses from that particular, and will be deploying for public transport purposes, as well as new buses and new licenses have also been allotted. Yes. And the government is working on various other, avenues for strengthening the public transport system. I completely accept that the public transport system in Delhi needs to be improved, and the finance minister, the Delhi's finance minister, in his address during the budget presentation session in July, clearly said that we are gradually moving towards a safe, reliable, accessible, integrated, multimodal transport system. The government laid down its blueprint and we are working towards it.
I've just got a caller and then I'll get you, Shailesh, to respond, because lots of citizens are listening to this and already getting angry. One of the callers, Avtar Singh, what's your question? Okay, we're trying to get our callers in. Sorry? Priyanka, you want to ask a question? Go ahead, Priyanka.
Yes, I want to know that why did the Chief Minister rattle such a long list of VIPs who were exempted? They are the ones who travel in big SUVs and old ambassador cars. So are they not responsible towards the environment? Are they not responsible for clean air in Delhi?
I get your question. Raghav, respond to that. VVIPs, we are told the Chief Minister himself will of course not travel and his ministers will follow the odd even scheme, but there are just a handful. A majority of the VVIPs in Delhi will be exempt.
Well, Mr. Sardesai, if we enforce this policy on the Prime Minister or the Vice President,
no, not the Vice President, Prime Minister. You have exempted ambassadors.
Confrontation politics.
You have exempted the list of VVIPs is a fairly long list who are exempted.
Let me say this, that there are security concerns and security reasons. The exemption list does not say that they mandatorily have to not comply with the odd even policy. If they want, they should, and in my view, they should. As the Chief Justice of India, who's also a part of that exemption list, has already stated that he would be using carpooling, he would be doing carpooling with his colleagues when he goes to work. So we hope that the cabinet ministers, judges, etc., who feature in that exemption list will also contribute towards that. But since there are certain security concerns, there are foundations of a state government, and since we run a state government in the capital, we cannot enforce this on everybody. And
Raghav, I get your point.
As the Prime Minister, etc.
I get your point, but the bigger worry remains public transport. You heard what Raghav Chadda said. Are you convinced that 5,000 buses can be brought into the city in the next 10-15 days?
I'll just clarify. I was in a show with Mr. Gopal Rai.
Yes,
about the transport minister. Transport minister. About 15 days back, same studio. It was Aaj channel.
Yes.
And he said that they are bringing 6,000 buses. Abhi Raghav just said that 5,000 buses are more coming in and 1,000 would be new. He himself said in the public show on Aaj Tak that 1,000 buses would be coming in the month of April. First 1,000 buses. So they themselves are not clear.
So you're saying a lot of, if at all you have to improve the quality of public transport, it's going to take at least 6 months to a year.
Absolutely.
It cannot happen overnight. It cannot happen in this week.
It cannot happen.
That's we've got one more caller. Pari, what's your question?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I am a single woman and I need to take my father every day for physiotherapy. So will I be stopped and harassed because he's with me?
That's a good question, Raghav. You've said there is an exemption for women, but here is someone who's saying, look, I may have to take my father in my car. What do I do? If the police is going to stop us, please understand, one of the fears we have is the police will have barriers every 100 meters, possibly A, to check your number plate, or B, to check, whether the single woman has got a man next to her. And you will therefore create a recipe for more traffic jams.
No, she will be exempted.
Yes.
If you go through the exemption list carefully and if you go through the press address of the Chief Minister, he categorically mentioned that if there is a patient in the car and if the driver or the patient says that they are going to the hospital, etc., and that is why they're traveling in a car on an odd day or an even day, they will not be stopped or harassed, and they would also not be fined. It was made it emphatically
that's your hope,
clear.
that they
That's
will not
one.
be
Point
harassed.
number two, you see, please let us also understand. No, but that is what the policy is, right? That is what the policy is. That's one. Point number two, let's rather than being cynical, let us understand that we are not doing this for Aam Aadmi Party or a certain section of individuals. We are doing this for all Delhiites. We are living in difficult times. Every other house in Delhi has a nebulizer or an inhaler. People are suffering from respiratory diseases. So therefore, all citizens need to work together to make this initiative successful, so that the air pollution levels are brought down. And this is not a permanent solution. It's a temporary solution.
Mr. Chadha, no one doubts the intent. One is happy that there is awareness and urgency being created. The question mark is over the conceptualization of the plan and whether it is a bit ill-conceived and therefore unimplementable. That is the worry. Already someone else is saying, why are senior citizens not exempted? If young women are going to be exempted, why not senior citizens, is what Mr. Malhotra is writing into me and SMSing me. Why not senior citizens? If I'm above the age of 60, 65, exempt me if I'm a single driver. Will you increase the list of exemptions, Mr. Chadha?
Well, Mr. Sardesai, all these suggestions, various representations were made to the Chief Minister. Journalists came, working women came and met the Chief Minister. Senior citizens came and their various associations came and made representations before the Chief Minister. And all these, difficulties were ironed out. They were discussed at length, threadbare. And this is a learning process. We will certainly be learning in these 15 days. If there are certain learnings that we will be gaining, and we would be ensuring that in the next tranche of odd even policy, we will account for all of these and make sure that the life of the citizens of Delhi is smooth.
This is an experiment, challenge. Why are we being cynical is what Raghav Chadha is saying. It's an experiment.
Sir, you can't experiment on public.
You can't experiment on public.
First point. Yes. Because they have voted you and brought in your power, right?
Yes.
And you are imposing certain things on public which is having faith, complete faith on you.
Yes.
And the first part and best part is that the Delhi Traffic Police Commissioner was not in the loop when the decision was being taken. Metro has not brought into the loop.
Yes.
So these are major things. You are depending on public transport.
This is
and
wrong.
These things.
This is wrong.
I have all the reports with me. Mr. Raghav Chadha, I have everything with me.
No, what report is this?
I have
let's not
from
be
all
so
the
cynical.
newspapers and the cuttings from the
No, so you're saying that let me conclude. You're categorically denying that you've taken this decision without taking all stakeholders into confidence. Am I correct?
Metro is going into losses. Metro would not be able to.
Hold on. You're claiming this decision has been thought through. It's not been done in a knee-jerk manner, and you're not going to pass on the blame to someone else after creating all the noise over this event, right? If it goes wrong.
Mr. Sardesai, if the metro is going into losses, does that mean that we stop caring about the health of the citizens of Delhi? Should we not look at the alarming levels of air pollution? The Supreme Court, the High Court, the NGT are passing directions after directions, asking the government to take measures. We are living in desperate times. These call for desperate measures. 15-day odd even policy venture is not a permanent solution. So I would appreciate if there are critics who give us valuable feedback, not anybody who gives us unsubstantiated statement saying that the metro is in losses, therefore you cannot implement odd even policy. I mean, let's hold on. Let's understand the situation in Delhi. Let's look at what is the air pollution level, and the government is taking three types of measures. The government is running special awareness campaigns like Car Free Day. The government is taking legislative, administrative steps like imposing green tax, etc., and redesigning of roads. And lastly, there are certain special measures that need to be taken looking at the alarming levels of PM2.5 in the air pollution toxicants. So therefore, I will wait to see what happens. I'm not being cynical, Raghav. Sometimes the line between being cynical and being a realist is a very thin one. I would like to believe I was only raising realistic concerns that the people of Delhi have. I'm not talking about you.
I wish you well. I wish your scheme well. But at the same time, I am putting a cautionary note, as are others also who are addressing this issue of public transport and pollution. I appreciate though that this issue is now center
stage. I hope
stage.
you will be following odd even.
I will take a bicycle. I will not only follow odd even, Raghav Chadha. I have decided that on the days when since I have an odd number car, on even days I am going to be taking a cycle. So that's what I can promise.
26th of November, YSR Congress Party MP from Rajampet PV Mithun Reddy, along with his supporters, allegedly slapped the Tirupati airport manager Rajshekhar when airport authorities refused.
The winters are upon us. Time to take out your sweater jackets and, in my case, cap. In fact, my colleague Rohit has already started knitting. Now, Sony smartphones, I really like them, because they have their own design philosophy.